Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In 2025, certain firearms are too valuable to part with. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone looking to invest in reliable and high-performance models, there are guns that hold their value and offer unmatched durability. Today, we're diving into the top 10 revolvers you should absolutely never sell. Trust me, you'll kick yourself later if you do. From rugged designs to outstanding performance, these firearms are built to last and will only appreciate in value. If you've got one of these in your collection, hold on to it tight. And if you're looking to add something special to your collection, keep your eyes peeled for these models. Let's dive in. Number 1. Colt Python. The Colt Python isn't just a revolver, it's a legitimate piece of American history, often called the Cadillac of revolvers. This .357 Magnum masterpiece has been coveted since its introduction in 1955. What many people don't realize is that the Python wasn't initially created to be a premium offering. It evolved from Colt's standard .357 Magnum lineup, but received so much extra attention during production that Colt's management decided to market it as their flagship revolver. Each Python was essentially hand-fitted by Colt's most skilled gunsmiths in an era when such craftsmanship was becoming increasingly rare. The Python's development coincided with the golden age of American wheel guns. The 1950s saw unprecedented innovation in revolver design, with the Python representing the pinnacle of what was mechanically possible with the technology of the time. The distinctive ventilated rib wasn't just for show. It reduced barrel weight while maintaining rigidity and provided a superior sighting plane that reduced glare. Why you shouldn't sell. The 4-inch barrel model with royal blue finish from the 1960s has quadrupled in value over the last decade alone. The investment potential becomes even more impressive when you look at certain configurations. The 6-inch nickel-plated models from the early production years can command even higher premiums, while the rarer 2.5-inch barrel versions have become almost mythical in collector circles. Even the less desirable 8-inch models have appreciated steadily. Pros: legendary smooth double-action trigger pull that feels like it's riding on glass bearings. Incredible accuracy thanks to that tight barrel-to-cylinder gap and precise barrel manufacturing. Robust construction that handles thousands of Magnum rounds without breaking a sweat. That distinctive ventilated rib and full underlug just look downright intimidating. The balance is nearly perfect, especially in the 4-inch configuration. Cons: the pre-2020 models can be maintenance-intensive and require a skilled gunsmith who understands their unique action. Finding original parts for vintage models gets harder each year, and reproduction parts often require fitting. The timing can go out of adjustment with extensive use of maximum pressure loads. The weight, about 44 ounces, makes it less practical for everyday carry. Whether you've got an original or one of the new production models, this is a revolver that's only going to become more desirable. The Python isn't just a gun, it's an heirloom that appreciates like fine art. And unlike most investments, you can actually take this one to the range and experience firsthand why it earned its legendary status. Number 2. Smith & Wesson Model 29. Do you feel lucky, punk? Dirty Harry's famous .44 Magnum didn't just make Clint Eastwood's day, it cemented the S&W Model 29's place in firearm history. When S&W introduced the Model 29 in 1955, they weren't just launching a new revolver, they were creating an entirely new category of handgun power. Developed in collaboration with legendary firearms writer Elmer Keith, the .44 Magnum cartridge represented a quantum leap in handgun ballistics. Keith had spent decades experimenting with heavy handgun loads, and the Model 29 was the culmination of that work. The power difference was staggering. The .44 Magnum generated nearly twice the energy of the .357 Magnum, which itself had been considered the pinnacle of handgun power for decades. When introduced, the Model 29 could launch a 240-grain bullet at velocities approaching 1,500 feet per second, power that was previously the exclusive domain of rifle cartridges. This revolver experienced multiple surges in popularity. First after the movie released in 1971, then during the Magnum revolver craze of the late 80s, and now among collectors who recognize its historical significance. The most desirable Model 29s feature what collectors call pinned and recessed construction, barrels that are secured with a crosspin visible on the outside of the barrel rather than just being screwed in, and chambers that are recessed to fully enclose the cartridge rims. These manufacturing techniques, which S&W abandoned in 1982 as a cost-cutting measure, represent the apex of revolver craftsmanship. Why you shouldn't sell? Beyond its cultural icon status, the Model 29 represents American craftsmanship at its finest. The pinned barrel and recessed chambers of pre-1982 models are particularly valuable, especially with original wooden grips and in 6.5-inch barrel configuration. Shooting the Model 29 is an experience every serious handgunner should have at least once. The combination of the hefty end frame, perfect balance, and smooth S&W action makes the substantial recoil of full-power .44 Magnum loads surprisingly manageable. Though you'll certainly know you've fired it, the muzzle blast and concussion are impressive, often drawing looks from other shooters at the range. Pros: incredible stopping power with .44 Magnum loads that rivals some rifle cartridges. Surprisingly manageable recoil thanks to its weight distribution and grip design. Pinned and recessed models represent the pinnacle of S&W's quality control, accuracy that puts many modern revolvers to shame, especially with the longer barrel configurations, versatility of being able to shoot milder .44 special loads for practice, or reduced recoil. Cons: the massive recoil with full power loads isn't for everyone. At nearly 3 pounds fully loaded, it's definitely not a concealed carry option. Earlier models can develop timing issues with excessive use of maximum loads. The checkering on the trigger and back of the hammer can be uncomfortable during extended shooting sessions. The Model 29 isn't just a powerful handgun, it's a conversation piece, an investment, and a joy to shoot. If you find one at a reasonable price, especially one of the older pinned and recessed models, grab it and never let go. And you've had decades of enjoyment in the meantime. Number 3. Ruger GP100. While not as flashy as some others on this list, the Ruger GP100 is the revolver equivalent of that buddy who helps you move apartments and doesn't complain once. Introduced in 1985 as the successor to the Security 6, this tank of a .357 Magnum has become legendary for its virtually indestructible nature. The GP100 represented a fundamental rethinking of revolver design philosophy. Where most manufacturers built their revolvers around a frame with a removable side plate for access to the internal components, Bill Ruger took a different approach. He designed the GP100 with a solid frame and a modular construction that allowed for simplified assembly and disassembly through the front of the cylinder. This approach wasn't just different for the sake of being different, it created a structurally superior revolver. The absence of a side plate meant that the frame had uninterrupted strength around its entire circumference. This design choice, along with the massive dimensions of key components, gave the GP100 its legendary durability. Since its introduction, the GP100 has evolved to include numerous variations. The most common are the 4-inch and 6-inch barrel configurations. But Ruger has also produced 2.5-inch, 3-inch, and 5-inch versions. The original fixed-sight versions have been largely supplanted by adjustable sight models, though purists often prefer the clean lines of the fixed-sight guns. Caliber options have expanded too. While the .357 Magnum remains the most common, Ruger has offered the GP100 and .38 Special, .327 Federal Magnum, and even 10mm Auto, making it one of the few revolvers chambered for what was traditionally an auto-loading cartridge. Why you shouldn't sell? The GP100 isn't about collector value, though certain limited editions are exceptions. It's about having a revolver that your grandkids will still be shooting long after you're gone. It's built like it could survive a nuclear apocalypse, and in today's world of increasingly disposable products, that kind of quality is becoming rare. Another aspect that makes the GP100 worth holding on to is its incredible potential for customization. The robust design provides gunsmiths with a solid foundation for enhancement, and the popularity of the platform means an abundance of aftermarket parts. From custom grips to action jobs, from fiber optic sights to compensated barrels, the GP100 can be transformed into exactly the revolver you want it to be. Pros: nearly indestructible construction with a solid frame, no side plate, that virtually eliminates frame stretching. Handles tens of thousands of full-power Magnum rounds without developing issues. Easily customizable with aftermarket grips, sights, and springs. Available in multiple barrel lengths and configurations to suit different needs. Triple locking cylinder provides exceptional cylinder-to-barrel alignment. Cushioned grip system reduces perceived recoil. Cons: not as refined out of the box as Smith & Wesson competitors, factory trigger can be a bit heavy, though it smooths out with use. The chunky build sacrifices some elegance for durability. Standard sights are functional, but basic compared to some competitors. Stock rubber grips work well, but lack the aesthetic appeal of wood. This is the revolver to keep if you actually plan on, shooting it regularly. While other revolvers might be babied and kept in safes, the GP100 begs to be used. 20 years from now, when newer guns have come and gone, your GP100 will still be running strong. And in a world where quality seems increasingly sacrificed at the altar of profit margins, that kind of longevity is becoming priceless. Number 4. Smith & Wesson Model 686. If the Ruger GP100 is a tank, the Smith & Wesson Model 686 is a precision sports car with the heart of a tank. Introduced in 1980, this stainless steel .357 Magnum has become the gold standard for versatility and refinement in the modern double-action revolver market. The 686 wasn't born in a vacuum. It's effectively the stainless steel version of the blued Model 586, which debuted in 1979. Both revolvers represented S and W's new L frame, a size between their traditional K and N frames, designed specifically to handle the long-term stress of .357 Magnum loads. The previous K-frame Magnum revolvers, while excellent, sometimes developed issues with heavy use of full-power ammunition. The genius of the L frame was that it maintained the grip dimensions of the popular K-frame, allowing it to fit a wide range of hand sizes, while adding strength in critical areas. The top strap, barrel shank, and cylinder were all beefed up compared to the K-frame, creating a revolver that balanced shootability with long-term durability. Why you shouldn't sell? The 686 strikes the perfect balance between shootability, durability, accuracy, and aesthetics. The pre-lock models, manufactured before 2001 without the internal lock mechanism, are particularly desirable, with certain vintage configurations like the 6-inch 686 with no dash, first generation, becoming increasingly scarce. What makes the 686 such a keeper is its incredible versatility. With the right loads, it's capable of taking medium game at reasonable distances. With wad cutters or .38 special target loads, it's a tack-driving competition gun. With .357 Magnum defensive ammunition, it's a formidable home defense option. Few firearms can fill so many roles so competently. Pros: buttery smooth double-action trigger pull that improves with use. Exceptional accuracy, especially in the 6-inch barrel configuration. Stainless steel construction resists corrosion and wear. Perfect balance of weight and power for both target shooting and practical applications. Excellent sight picture with adjustable rear sight and ramp front sight. Superior ergonomics that fit a wide range of hand sizes. Cons: later models with internal locks are less desirable to purists. Quality control has varied somewhat over different production eras. Can be difficult to find competent gunsmiths who truly understand the action work. Factory triggers, while good, don't match the smoothness of earlier S and W revolvers. Full lug barrel design makes it slightly muzzle-heavy compared to tapered barrel models. Standard factory sights, while functional, aren't as sophisticated as some competitors. The 686's double-action trigger pull deserves special attention. Unlike many revolvers that have a stacking feel, where resistance increases through the pull, a well-maintained 6.86 has an incredibly consistent pull weight from start to break. Number 5. Colt Single Action Army Peacemaker. There's something about the Colt Single Action Army that just screams Americana. Introduced in 1873 and often called the Peacemaker, this legendary revolver tamed the Wild West and continues to captivate shooters and collectors nearly 150 years later. Why you shouldn't sell. Original Peacemakers in good condition are legitimate museum pieces that appreciate faster than most stock portfolios. Even the modern reproductions hold their value remarkably well. There's a reason this basic design has remained virtually unchanged for a century and a half. It's simply perfect at what it does. Pros. Iconic design that represents a pivotal era in American history, surprisingly accurate, especially at typical handgun distances. Simple mechanism means fewer potential failure points, available in various calibers, with .45 Colt being the most historically significant. Cons. Single action only limits its practical applications. Loading and unloading is slower than modern designs. Original models require careful maintenance and shouldn't be fired with modern high-pressure ammunition. Whether you've got an original antique passed down through generations, a more recent Colt production, or even a quality clone from manufacturers like Uberti or Ruger, the single-action Army represents the revolver in its purest form. This isn't just a gun, it's a slice of history that maintains its relevance even in our modern era. Number 6. Korth Combat Revolver. Now we're entering the realm of functional art. The Korth Combat Revolver from Germany isn't just a firearm. It's what happens when old-world craftsmen decide to build the finest revolver possible without any budget constraints. Why you shouldn't sell. Korth revolvers are essentially the Rolls-Royces of the wheelgun world. Limited production numbers and hand-fitted parts make them increasingly rare. They're also among the few revolvers that genuinely appreciate in value from the moment you take them home from the dealer. Pros. Unmatched precision with tolerances that make other premium revolvers look mass-produced. Hand-polished action results in a trigger pull that feels like it's running on ball bearings. Modularity allows for caliber changes and barrel swaps without gunsmithing. Appearance that stands out even among custom revolvers. Cons. Eye-watering price that starts around $4,000 and quickly climbs. Parts availability can be challenging if something breaks. Almost too nice to actually shoot regularly. If you're fortunate enough to own a Korth, you possess something truly special. This isn't just a revolver that holds its value. It's one that creates value through its scarcity and reputation for excellence. Selling a Korth is like selling a Patek Philippe watch. You're not just letting go of a tool, but an investment and a piece of mechanical artistry. Number 7. Smith & Wesson Model 27. Before the Model 29 stole the spotlight, the Model 27 was Smith & Wesson's flagship revolver. Introduced in 1935 as the first .357 Magnum revolver ever produced, this end-frame beauty represents the pinnacle of pre-CNC manufacturing techniques. Why you shouldn't sell. The Model 27 embodies a level of hand-fitting and attention to detail that modern production methods simply can't replicate. The older specimens, especially those from the 1950s and 60s, feature incredible bluing processes that have a depth and luster unmatched by modern firearms. Pros. Legendary smooth action from the era when S&W truly hand-fitted their revolvers, available in various barrel lengths, with the 3.5-inch 5-screw being particularly valuable. Handles, .357. Magnum with authority thanks to its larger end frame. Bluing on vintage models has a depth that looks almost wet in good lighting. Cons. Can be finicky with certain types of ammunition. Replacement parts for older models are increasingly difficult to source. Some variants, like the 8.375-inch barrel, can feel somewhat unwieldy. The Model 27 represents a time when Smith & Wesson was at the absolute peak of its wheelgun craftsmanship. Each one was essentially a semi-custom firearm, with skilled hands touching every component during assembly. If you have one, particularly a pre-1980 model, you're holding a piece of firearms history that continues to increase in both monetary and historical value. Number 8. Manurhin MR73. While Americans often focus on domestic revolvers, the French Manurhin MR73 has developed a cult following among those in the know. Designed in the 1970s for French special police units, this combat revolver combines exceptional durability with target pistol accuracy. Why you shouldn't sell? The MR73 was relatively unknown in America until recently, but as knowledge of its exceptional quality spreads, prices have been steadily climbing. With limited imports and production numbers, these are becoming increasingly difficult to find, especially the police and military configurations. Pros: unmatched durability, designed to handle over 100,000 full-power Magnum rounds. Match-grade accuracy due to individually fitted barrels and exceptional timing. Unique trigger mechanism allows for incredibly precise double-action shooting. Distinctive appearance that stands apart from American revolvers. Cons: parts and qualified service can be difficult to find in the U.S. Premium price point that continues to rise, heavier than comparable American revolvers. The French aren't typically known for their firearms, but the MR73 is the exception that proves the rule. This revolver combines the best elements of both combat and target shooting designs. As more American shooters discover these gems, the available supply continues to shrink, making them an exceptional investment for the knowledgeable collector. Number 9. Chiappa Rhino. Innovation doesn't happen often in the revolver world, but when the Chiappa Rhino arrived in 2009, it truly brought something new to the table. With its barrel aligned with the bottom chamber rather than the top, this Italian revolver challenges a design convention that had remained virtually unchanged for 150 years. Why you shouldn't sell? The Rhino represents a genuine evolution in revolver design. As more shooters experience the benefits of its unconventional approach, these revolvers continue to gain appreciation, both in value and reputation. Limited editions and shorter barrel models are particularly desirable. Pros: revolutionary bottom cylinder firing significantly reduces felt recoil and muzzle flip. Flat profile makes it more comfortable for concealed carry. Futuristic aesthetics that stand out in any collection. Available in multiple barrel lengths and finishes. Cons: complex internal mechanism requires specialized knowledge for maintenance. Early production models had some reliability issues, largely resolved in current production. Unconventional ergonomics take some getting used to. The Rhino might look like something from a sci-fi movie, but its unique design provides genuine advantages that traditional revolvers can't match. As the design continues to prove itself, these revolvers are becoming increasingly sought after, particularly in their more limited configurations. This isn't just a novelty, it's potentially the future of revolver design. Number 10. Wesson Model 715. Rounding out our list is the revolver that embodies versatility, the Wesson Model 715. Reintroduced in 2005 after the brand was acquired by CZ USA, this stainless steel .357 Magnum carries forward the innovative interchangeable barrel system that made the original Wessons so unique. Why you shouldn't sell? The 715 offers something no other production revolver can match: the ability to change barrel lengths at home with simple tools. This adaptability, combined with excellent build quality and increasingly limited availability, makes it a standout in any collection. Pros: interchangeable barrel system allows one revolver to serve multiple roles. Exceptional accuracy due to the tension barrel design, robust construction with excellent timing and lockup, unique aesthetic that bridges classic and modern design elements. Cons: additional barrel sets are becoming increasingly difficult to find. Slightly more complex field stripping compared to traditional revolvers. Heavier than comparable fixed barrel revolvers due to the barrel shroud design. The Wesson 715 is the Swiss Army knife of revolvers. Capable of transforming from a snub-nosed concealed carry piece to a long-barreled hunting companion in minutes. As production numbers remain limited, and the availability of accessory barrel sets diminishes, complete packages are becoming increasingly valuable to collectors and practical shooters alike. There you have it, 10 revolvers that deserve a permanent place in your collection. Whether you're drawn to the historical significance of the single-action army, the mechanical perfection of the Korth, or the practical versatility of the Dan Wesson, each of these wheel guns represents something special in the firearms world. We've seen too many people sell these classics during temporary financial pinches or to fund the latest Polymer Wonder 9, only to spend years trying to find a replacement at twice the price. These revolvers aren't just tools or toys. They're investments that combine history, craftsmanship, and function in a way that few other objects can. If you already own any of these 10, my advice is simple: hold on tight. And if you're looking to add something special to your collection, these are the models worth seeking out, even at today's prices. What revolvers do you think belong on this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've ever sold a revolver you later regretted parting with, tell us about it. Misery loves company after all. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, keep those wheel guns spinning.